Another episode of Stickman and a Dog. November the 18th, 2023. I just was reviewing some of those Stickmen, and they go back 4 or 5 years. I didn't know I'd done them that long. Anyway, it's a beautiful day. There's not a better day like it. Temperature is perfect. The dog is enjoying herself. Ember, the Rhodesian Ridgeback, is on her last legs of cancer, mast cell tumor cancer. Every now and then you can see it on her leg if you're this far away, but it's progressing as mast cell tumors do. The veterinaries gave her up about 1.5 years ago after I spent a lot of money. And my son's keeping her alive with different holistic medicines, especially CBD oil and some other stuff. Fenbendazole. He's got a program going with her. I'm hoping it's going to be lucrative for her life. But, you know, we're in a rut. That's spelled R-U-T. Let's get it true. Let's get it factual here. There's no such thing as my doctor. My doctor does not exist anymore. Get it through your head. It's not there. It was 20 years ago, up till about 15 or 20 years ago. I can remember the doctor in the little town of Bonaparte. You could call him to your house, come in with a big leather bag, a bottle of this, a bottle of that, and a syringe, and whatever. There's always a shot of penicillin or cough syrup. I got a little side note here. I couldn't keep my legs still in first, second, third grade, especially first grade. I couldn't keep from interrupting the teacher. I suppose in those days I had attention deficit disorder. You know, we got to find a name or an acronym for everything, and then we got to treat it. We just can't stand it. Anyway, my mom was a registered nurse, so we went to the doctor. The doctor said I was wormy. So he gave my mother some worm medicine. I don't know, it was green in an ugly bottle, but it was terrible. And I didn't shake my leg anymore because I didn't want any more of that worm medicine. But really, I only shake it when people weren't looking. Today I still bounce my leg up and down, but I'm not going to find any more of that worm medicine. I'm not going to take any more of it. I don't want any part of it. So we're tending to lean. You just can't grasp. You've got to come down to earth and grasp that big pharma is not your friend. That the National Institute of Health, the World Health Organization, the Centers for Disease Control, they're not on your side anymore. They're run by corporations. They're run by donations. They're not out here trying to cure you anymore. They're out here to try to make billions, not millions. Millions are gone. Billions of dollars. And how they do it, the unruthless CEOs of the corporations are going to do it. Bill and Melinda Gates are one of the biggest donators of their billions of dollars to the CDC, the World Health Organization. It's all money, people. It's all money. And in many cases, it's our money. And try to buy health insurance. It's so screwed up. Nobody can get a good idea on health insurance. It's a mess. It's an absolute mess. For instance, to keep your insurance a couple of years ago, you had to keep your job. You still do. But the point of it is you had to take the jab. You want to keep your job, take your jab. Force by blackmail. What have we gotten ourselves into? Why would having insurance be fearful? Why? Because you're overextended, probably. You can't do without it. And why? I think when my wife passed of cancer, the bills were like $900,000. I had, luckily, Medicare and a supplemental insurance. Oh yeah, I was paying $6,000 a year for health insurance for us in our late 70s. So it wasn't free. It wasn't free at all. I still see some people think they're going to retire and this Medicare is free. Well, it's not. You don't have to have a supplement. Actually, right now, I'm getting inundated by calls to review my supplement. Be very careful if you do that. The very first time you get a supplement, your physical is not needed. They accept you. But if you try to go to a different plan and you drop your old plan before you go to the new plan, then you want to be very careful, because you may not be able to get your old plan back, and you may not be accepted by the new plan after you file the report to get in. It's hocus pocus. I've probably had 25 calls this week wanting me to have glasses, money in my pocket, teeth, a hair transplant, hearing aids, everything they want to pay for. Wait until you get it, they won't want to pay for it. Anyway, we got to start getting straight on this. Ember, what are you doing? Get out of that. Ember! Oh, what the hell has she found? Leave it to her to find something she thinks is all right. Anyway, we got to get a handle on this. Health insurance is out of control. Totally out of control. And there's no reason for it. GoodRx, try it. Try GoodRx Gold or GoodRx. Don't be afraid. Just sign up for it, and then when you go to your pharmacist, ask if they put this on GoodRx. I just had a bill this morning, was $38 for some prescription, and they hadn't run it through GoodRx, and so because of my aggressiveness, I said, will you please run it through GoodRx? If I hadn't asked, they wouldn't have done it. It was $37, and they ran it through GoodRx. It was $13. What do you think I should have done there? How do you feel about that? You think I should have paid the $37? Just went on about my business? Or would you pay the $13? Which one would you feel better about? Well, I felt better about GoodRx, and it cost me $9.99 a month. And so far, it's saved me a lot of money. So you might want to check into it, look at it, see if it fits what you're looking for lower drug costs, lower prescription drug costs. It's done well for me. Anyway, another thing is we have poor insurance, how would you call it? Activity is keeping everything orchestrated and in the proper perspective. Her bills came to $900,000 for her cancer. Luckily, Medicare and supplemental were cared for it. I spent very little. She met a regimen every time she went to the hospital, which was several. And when she come back, she was eligible for home health care. Unfortunately, she didn't want any of it because COVID was going on. And she felt that, and she was right, she couldn't have handled COVID. And she didn't want to get vaccinated either. I think that had killed her too. So, yeah. Yeah. If you even think about, I'm going to get vaccinated, I'll die first. I'll die before I get vaccinated. I've spent too much time now in a year studying vaccinations. I don't want any part of them. I've only had 3 or 4 flu vaccinations in 40 years. The last one I got, I was in therapy for 3 months, 2 days a week. My right arm couldn't move it. I guess I didn't need it. Maybe I need to learn left hand. Anyway, it wasn't a good deal. It was, oh, there's the bridge back. So anyway, the right arm was not a good deal for me. So I wouldn't take a flu vaccine for anything. I just don't trust it. And when I went in the service, they didn't ask me. They just wanted me through a line, and boom, 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 boom were the vaccinations and the shots. To this day, I suffer from immunity problems and a lot of other problems, and they may be from those vaccinations in 1965 that I had no choice but to take or quit or whatever. I wasn't going to do that. I couldn't do it. I'm too patriotic. Anyway, you start paying attention to your health insurance. Start calling your representative, your congressman, your senator. Call them and tell them you're fed up with the price of health insurance. You can't afford it anymore. You got to do something about it, and it's not that good. Your deductible is $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $8,000, $10,000. Tell them you don't like that. Naturally, you got to understand the higher your deductible goes, the lower your premiums are supposed to be. So make sure that works. There's a lot of nefarious activity in insurance. There's a good example is Grandpa and Grandma have an old car they like, and it's worth a couple thousand. And because they're 75, 80 years old, they're paying $300 or $400 a year on insurance. What do they got collision on it for? It's only worth $2,000. They're not going to pay much for a collision. If you're paying $50, $75 every 6 months for that collision, well, it's a waste of money. My point is, there are some insurances we take that are a waste of money because of deductibles. So review it. Get your insurance out and review it. Look at it. Both of you sit at the table, review your insurance papers, see what you're buying. Get deep. There's no reason you can't redact the cost of whatever insurance you've got. Redact the cost of it. Send your coverage to another company and say, what's this going to cost me with you? Get a quote. Get 2 or 3 quotes. For years, I quoted car insurance. I'd redact all the costs and send it out to different companies all the time, every year. I did that. And then I did something I didn't really want to do, and I've done it for 4 years. I made a blanket. The car and the farm all go on one policy, so you might look at that too. I think a lot of people do that. There's a lot of strange things going on. There's no way in hell we're going to keep up with them. There's just too many. I try to keep up with some things going on, but they rewrite. There's no friends in Washington. Republicans, no Republican friends. Democrats, no Democrat friends anymore. They're all for the self. They're all trying to make big for their own name and their money pocket. That's all that's going on. I don't think we're well represented at all. I don't think they're listening to us. I think we're really on the verge of Marxism or socialism. I just read an article the other day that the millennials are 42% socialists. They like socialism better than they like capitalism. Well, I still hold to this attitude. 95%, I get that, 95% of Congress have college degrees. Really? Oh boy. But look what a mess the country's in. So tell me what's spending that $100,000, $200,000 for that degree with those people for 4 years to be educated to help us and do good in our business dealings, our political dealings, or our safety of the country. What good did it do them? Where did it get them? You can't envision it. Why can the country is such a mess that they're all educated? And yet we turn around and want to send everybody to college again. What is the deal on that? Oh, one last thing. How can you spend $50,000, $75,000 a year for a muffin to go to Harvard and then have them protest in the streets for Palestine? How can you do that? If they want to go to Harvard and learn all this, and now their activation protest is on the side of people who have a terrible, terrible, horrible experience of killing women, babies, and children, and mutilating them in this attack on the 4th of the 6th. What is going on? Why would anybody with getting an education want to be on that side of the fence? Maybe they know more than we know. Something's wrong. Anyway, you're not going to find a more beautiful day than this. It's really nice. Review your insurance. Get your papers out, lay them on the kitchen table. All of you look at them, evaluate them, check your budget, see where you're at, and see what's going on. You may have more than you need. You may have less than you need. You may be paying too much. Shop around. Find out. Don't be locked in. There's no such thing as my insurance man. There's no such thing as your doctor anymore. No such thing as your doctor anymore. I seen a doctor 2 days ago, and I was in his office probably 8 minutes. And he asked me, I couldn't keep up with it. It was going so fast, and that's hard for me to say because I'm usually right on top of everything. But anyway, it was somewhat of an arduous detail to pay attention to what he was saying. And none of it was pertinent enough that I should remember because none of it followed the problems I was there for. So anyway, stop and think of things that are going on. Weigh them out, look at them, investigate. Use your common sense. If it doesn't feel right, it's probably not right. There's a lot of changes, and I'm really concerned about the people who are having problematic details from vaccinations. And there's a lot of opposition trying to quelch those details and quelch the in-depthness so that nobody knows what's going on. Silence's secret attitudes are becoming prevalent in the country, and that's serious. That's serious. So we need to be more indulgent in what our government's doing. We need to follow along what they're doing. And remember, there's no such thing as a Democrat anymore. There's no such thing as a Republican. I don't understand them at all. I can't follow it. I used to think I could have some good idea on politics, but not anymore. It's too complicated, too confusing, too out of control. Oh, by the way, just one last thing. You notice how the EVs are burning up, the electric vehicles are burning up, how they're blowing up, how they're catching fire? One little statement is, if you want to pollute the earth, drive an EV, because to get that EV made is a tremendous amount of materials that are polluting the earth to entertain and mine them. So you can't call yourself a greenie and drive an EV, because there's even a big article on several news media sites, 5-year-olds are mining the cobalt for your batteries. I found that a little offensive. Not that I'm against EV cars, that's not the point. I'm just against what's happening to make them run. And I don't think by 2035 we're going to have it solved. Anyway, you guys have a fine day today. Enjoy yourself. Go out and walk. Take a walk. And I spent a real nice 2 hours on the Des Moines River yesterday. Oh, how beautiful that was in Bonaparte. That was phenomenal. Enjoyed every minute of it. Get your kids down there right now. Take them down, walk on the rocks. Let them look at the river. As long as they can walk on rock, take them down there, because there's a lot of rock to walk on. Throw rocks in the river. See how many times you can skip a flat rock. Just do the simple things and be out in this. You got 3 more hours left before the sun goes down. Go out and take the kids and walk down on the river and see what's going on. Thank you for listening, and you have a fine day and a fine weekend. Thank you.